Hi, Jeff Cohn here with another episode of the Team Building Podcast, where we interview top team leaders, broker owners, and thought leaders from across the country. I am sitting here today, and I am going to start to create specificity around if I'm physically in person on these interviews or virtual. My goal is to bring people in that are thought leaders and visionaries from around the Midwest. So today I have that very person who is an owner in a marketing company that my company has been using for over 10 years, Kyle Baack.
Yeah, that's correct.
Welcome
Thanks
to the Team Building Podcast.
Hey, I appreciate having me here.
Absolutely. Happy to have you guys. It was funny. We reached out last year. We were going to go down to Kansas City and check out your operations. And that is one hack, by the way, that I recommend anyone does. Instead of a 15-minute Zoom call, just go spend a couple hours with people and get to know them. And our relationship obviously has exploded since then. And
which, by the way, do you know that only two people, since I've been at the company, only two people have ever done that from owners of companies?
Wow. And I'm one of the
You're
two.
One of them.
I'm 50% of the people that have physically visited.
Well,
it was well worth it. They got some Kansas City barbecue for us, and we had a great conversation with their leadership team. And I'm not surprised. People, I don't know why people just don't invest in their strategic partners, and it makes all the difference. But the interesting thing was we had been using the personal marketing company for over 10 years and had used them primarily to send postcards, old-fashioned mailer postcards to our clients that closed with us, and they would go out for 5 years. And we'll talk about the product offering later, but the goal for all of our listeners today is to find a few strategies that they can implement in their business so that they can stay in constant contact with their past clients, maybe potential future clients. And I just wanted to kind of get into what you think is the next, over the next 5 years are some of the best lead mediums and best ways to stay top of mind and in front of the people that we're going to essentially be able to have as clients going into this next decade.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about marketing, I always recommend multiple modalities, right? Different types of marketing. So if you're going to market online and do digital marketing via Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, email marketing, that's great. But I recommend spreading it out over different types of modalities, right? So if you have a digital strategy and Facebook's that's great. But I also recommend going back to some tried and true strategies like print mail, right? This year, for example, I got 2 postcards in the mail in the last 6 months. One was from Google recommending that I get Google AdWords, which is an online advertising, right? So they're using a postcard.
They sent you a postcard.
They sent me a postcard to advertise that, right?
That's impressive.
Right.
That's surprising.
And the second one that always stands out to me that I got in the mail was from Amazon recommending that I use their streaming service, music streaming service. So when you think about the companies that have all the data, the big companies in the country, right? Amazon and Google, they made a strategic decision to spend money to get into my mailbox, right? So that should tell you something that's where, there's volume to be had because there's so few people that still mail things out right now.
Right.
And so it moved away, the digital, movement happened. And for better or for worse, I think I was telling you earlier that for better or for worse, my company didn't make that move. But it allowed us to stay in our lane and really focus on print marketing for real estate agents. Yep. And I'm really glad it hasn't, because while we've been doing this for 40 years, I came in about 2.5 years and taking over from the founder to grow and scale this. And so yeah, I really, when I look at the next 5 years, there's some really interesting things even happening in mail. QR codes maybe even making a little bit of a comeback as well. But also the post office innovating a little bit with informed delivery.
You were the first one to introduce this to me. So why don't you share with our listeners what that is so that everybody can be ready for this and the strategy where you can redirect those links.
Yeah, there's this mind-blowing thing that happened this year, and the post office actually made it innovated, right? I mean, so I can't explain it, what the history of that was, but they launched, you can sign up your home address. And so I signed up my home address that I live there, and a postcard comes in the mail to confirm that. And basically what that does is I get an email now that has a scanned image of every piece of mail that's going to show up in my inbox or my mailbox.
And not what's inside of the piece of mail. It's just a scanned image of the letter or whatever has been placed inside your mailbox.
It's the address side of it, right, of what's going to be placed in your mailbox that day. So whether it's an envelope or whether it's a postcard, it's that address side. But what the post office did with this is it's not only a scanned image, it's a scanned image that we as a print provider can upload in advance, a document that basically ties that to a hyperlink and a replacement image that's in full color, right?
Okay, so let me translate.
Yeah.
So instead of it just being a piece of mail, let's say that you just used a normal envelope and sent it, you can put a code on the top of that piece of mail that instead of seeing the actual physical piece of mail that's going to show up in the mailbox, you can choose any other image that you want to have show up in this informed mail. And not only that, you can make it a hyperlink so someone can click on it and get redirected wherever you want to point them.
Exactly.
Mind blown, face melted.
It is this like crazy
I didn't believe you.
I know.
I went last summer and he told me about this. I'm like, no way. I literally signed up that day, and every day since I get the email notification. I'm like, who would have ever thought the United States Postal Service was going to get into this? And it's speculated that eventually we will not receive mail delivered to our house. Mail will still get sent, but with the USPS, we'll just scan what is actually inside of your mail and it'll get emailed to you.
Yeah, there's some fascinating things to be able to limit the number of days, right? I mean, the post office has got to figure out a strategy to be able to save some money here, right? But it's a national requirement that they deliver mail, on a daily basis. So, but my projection is that they're going to allow you to opt out of getting mail every day to be able to save on postal routes and things like that in the future. Maybe give you digital credits towards Amazon or something like that when they start delivering our mail for us. I'm not sure, but
there you go.
But that's those are some predictions. But yeah, so informed delivery is that's a big deal because it's a trusted email. With your mail that's being delivered that day,
of course,
coming from a third party, right? And so, but it's personalized to you and it can hyperlink directly to you. And so pretty amazing. I mean, smart mail is really something that's going to be taking off here in the next couple of years. And we're going to be providing it on all of our pieces of mail. And so
that's awesome. So I've always said the hybrid tech powered office of the future, it wins, especially now in a current pandemic / post-pandemic climate. It wins by marrying what was once always in a physical realm, like mail, with a digital world, and allowing the consumer to choose when they want to interact digitally, like on a Zoom call, or physically, like a piece of mail that shows up in the mailbox. And I think it's fascinating that you had two amazing examples of Amazon and Google sending you personally a piece of mail, because they'd be the last company in the world that would do that, I would think. And it's funny, going back 5 or 10 years, it was almost like we became so proud of being online that we stopped handwriting letters. We stopped sending out mail. Like, I'm too good for that. I'm all digital. And there's still a place for physical. If anything now, it's unique. If you send something in the mail, and you're like excited,
you're the only one to do it, right?
And you're excited to get stuff in the mail. So, of course, this isn't an upsell for the TPMCO product per se, but a lot of us listening, we want to stand out. We want to be unique. We want to have a unique selling proposition. We definitely want to marry the physical realm with the digital realm. What are some strategies for those listening today, going into 2021, that they can implement in their business to take it to the next level?
Yeah, I recommend 3 things for every agent to really focus on. For every listing, I think every agent should use postcards for just listed, just sold, and then a client follow-up process for that as well, which I'll get into in a second. But just listed postcards, one of the things that I've been recently fighting against is, in a hot market, right? Why would I spend any money on a just listed postcard, right? In a hot market.
Right, it's going to sell right away. By the time they go out, the house is already sold. And now I have people mad at me because they call and I'm like, sorry, your house is sold.
Right. And it's like, but what most agents don't realize is a just listed postcard has nothing to do with selling the house that you're about, that you have on the postcard, right? A just listed postcard is announcing activity that you're the expert in the area, right? And nothing announces that you're the expert in the area than them getting that postcard on a Thursday, and then by Monday getting a postcard saying it's sold, right?
The just sold right behind it. The other thing is, obviously, it's going to drive buyer leads, and so will the just sold will drive seller leads. But it also is something that you can offer to your client when you're on the listing presentation to say, hey, I'm going to send out postcards. Everybody closest to this physical address is, the first 25 or 50, however much you want to spend, they're going to receive a postcard. Can I share a strategy we've implemented? So we've been doing postcards for over 10 years, and on all the just listed postcards, we include a QR code, and it just says scan with phone to see virtual reality tour, high definition pictures and video of this property. And when someone scans, it takes them to a landing page that squeezes for a lead. We use Verly as our solution for that. And so we're getting tons of leads now that are coming in. Back to our point of taking something physical and giving a virtual option. I think if we ever send anything physical, anything that you would send out to somebody that's paper, always have a virtual option where they don't have to go plug in a URL. I know there's like tinyurl.com. Just create a QR code. It's super simple. They're free. You can go onto a QR code generator for nothing, and it gives people a really easy way to redirect.
You can actually download a Google plugin up at the top corner that you click a button and it auto-generates a QR code for you for whatever website you're on, right? Super simple, super easy anymore.
And now everyone knows, like, I won't say a demographic, but there were people who didn't know how to use a QR code. Now the restaurant required you to learn how to scan a QR code to get your menu. Everyone knows. Doesn't matter if
it's like
you're
Zoom. We all know how to
70.
do that now, right? QR code's the same way, exactly.
Yep. So include them now, and people are like, oh wow, this is kind of cool.
Yep. So I think I think you're exactly right. I mean, making sure that that's consistently happening for every listing that's going out, just listed, just sold postcards. The next thing that I recommend for everyone is to do our client follow-up, client for life 5-year program, right? So our client follow-up program is 21 mailings spread out over 5 years. You enroll that buyer or seller at the time of closing for $25. And then we automate the process of those mailings going out quarterly for the next 5 years.
Yep. And this is the product that got me into TPMCO in the beginning. And they actually have demo packs they can send you, because I thought it'd be junk. Like, you get investment mail all the time. It's like a little crappy postcard that's low quality. These are amazing. Like, the best postcards I see. And you can develop your own. You don't have to use their design in some applications. I know we developed our own just listed, just sold campaign. And we also do a welcome home campaign / open house. So we do leave behinds in the house. But what I couldn't believe is, I'm like, okay, $25 once. I don't have to think about it. I push a button, and I know that client every 3 months is going to get something of value from me, possibly with a QR code with the digital redirect.
And 10 of those are magazines, actually, that we write all in-house. And so it's not just a postcard that's showing up. It's something that's been custom written by our creative team, design team. And so...
Dude, what's crazy is agents are probably spending more than $25 on a closing gift. My suggestion to anyone listening that's leading a team and or is an agent, don't buy a closing gift. Give them a handwritten card at closing and spend $25 on an ongoing mailing campaign that's going to go out for 5 years.
5 years.
The other cool thing, remind me, but I feel like there's a way where if it gets returned, it'll go back to the agent so they can find out that this person probably moved, and unbeknownst to them.
Exactly. Yeah. And so to spend $25 to stay in touch with the client for life, and at the end of that 5 years, we reach back and find out, is that somebody you want to stay in touch with or not? You want to extend for 3 years or 5 years? Address changes, we change addresses all the time. So,
awesome.
So the final thing I always recommend for every agent, when you're really creating your marketing plan, at the beginning of the year, right? Those postcards are key. The client follow-up is key, and then to have a marketing plan for your sphere of influence, right? Your SOI marketing plan that has a consistent communication, right? Because consistency is key, right, with marketing. And if you need a motivation quote for the year, look up consistency is key, consistency is king, right? Consistency is everything with marketing, and set it and forget it, right? So we have newsletters that for 100 people to get that on a monthly basis is $78 a month, right?
Jeez.
That includes postage, includes everything, right? And if you have a hard time, maybe you don't have 100 people right now, but you can go all the way down to 25 people for those, but you can set it, forget it, right? Choose the content you want to go out. We create the content every month. It's brand new every month, and it'll show up in their mailbox, every month. We have a design team that refreshes the design on a consistent basis. And so if you really want to succeed, with a print marketing strategy that automates those things, you can even automate that at the office level, right? You have the just listed, just sold, automate at the office level. Client follow-up can be automated at the office level as well. And you can still charge the agents for those things, their credit card, but you automate the process for the agent, right? To make it simple and clean. And
I know the last thing that I think about that you guys do an amazing job with is closing gifts. And that's not a main topic I don't think that you talk about, but it's a game changer. I had a client this last summer, and I was really interested in seeing what all those closing gifts looked like. And so it was a high net worth individual, high price point. And so I decided after closing, when they moved into their new home, I would send them every gift you guys offered. And we did it every week. And Kyle helped me get this all set up. And it was awesome to watch the response. Their family was like blown away. They couldn't believe it. And it didn't cost that much. The gifts are very reasonable. So I've heard of a lot of people setting people up, not only on a closing gift a couple of weeks later, because when you close, there's so much going on that you're not really grateful for getting the gift. But maybe a couple weeks later, you get a mat for $35 or something that has the first letter of the last name of the client that just closed on their new house. And then every year, people are saying home anniversary. On their home anniversary date, they get another another gift.
Yeah, it's, adding those closing gifts in, if you've got $1 million house that you just sold, you might want to spend more than $25 to stay in touch with that person, right? Yep. And so, but, creating a gift program like that, we created and you were a part of the beta with that last year, when we tested this, but we did a 9 gifts spread out over a year, right? And for you, we rushed it, so we did one every week.
Right.
Just,
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. And so, but, that gifts program, and, one of them being a picture of the home you just sold, and moved out of, and that's a little bit more sentimental and things like that. One was a puzzle of the home and things. And
a little treat basket with a movie night.
Right. And it's all personalized. Every one of those gifts has a note from the agent, right? That's hyper personalized, because that's our company. We're the personal marketing company, right? So we help people really personalize those gifts as well. And so
it's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, Kyle, this was a lot of content. For someone that wants to get signed up, I know you had worked out with Elite Real Estate Systems offering some type of a discount. You shared with me the link would just be tpmco.com. And to receive a discount, you just put in the code ERS for Elite Real Estate. So ERS is the discount code. Go to tpmco.com if you want to check out more information, if you want to learn what can be customized, if you want to set up a quick 30-minute demo call. It's pretty simple. The other really exciting announcement is that TPMCO will be one of our exclusive partners / sponsors of the Team Building Summit in May 2021. So we are hosting a physical event in Omaha, Nebraska. If you want more information about that event or any other workshops that we're hosting this year in 2021, go out to growwithers.com. And we would love to see people in person, but there will be some digital options if you can't make it to Omaha. So go again to growwithers.com to find out more information on that. And we're grateful that TPMCO is willing to sponsor us on that. And if you do come to Omaha, they're going to have a gift bag for you and all sorts of merch so that you can see exactly what their product offerings are like. So we hope to see you guys come out in May to that big event.
Yeah.